Google does not have just one AI tool anymore, and that is exactly why so many beginners get lost in the first 5 minutes. This video breaks down the Google AI ecosystem in the simplest way possible, so viewers can finally understand what Gemini is, what NotebookLM is, what Google AI Studio is, and why some Google AI tools are made for everyday users while others are clearly built for creators and developers. Google currently positions Gemini as its main general assistant, NotebookLM as a source-grounded research tool, and Google AI Studio as a place to build with its models, while DeepMind's model pages also separate tools like Veo for video and Imagen for image generation. By the end of this video, the viewer will know which Google AI tool to open first, which ones to ignore for now, and why most confusion comes from using the wrong tool for the wrong job. Google's own product pages show these tools are designed for different use cases, not as one single all-purpose product. The biggest mistake beginners make is thinking Google AI is one thing. It is not one thing. It is a growing stack of tools, apps, models, and features spread across products with different names, different limits, and different audiences. That means a beginner can hear words like Gemini, Gemini in Search, NotebookLM, AI Studio, Veo, Imagen, and Flow, all in the same week and assume they are all basically the same. They are not. Google's own model hub separates Gemini, image tools, video tools, music tools, and developer tools into different categories, which shows this ecosystem is broad by design. This is where the confusion starts. One tool is made for chatting. Another is made for studying and working with sources. Another is made for building apps. Another is made for generating video. And another may appear inside Search or inside Gmail and Docs rather than as a standalone app. Google's current AI plan pages also show Gemini features reaching across Search, Chrome, Gmail, Docs, Sheets, NotebookLM, and creative generation tools, which makes the ecosystem feel even bigger to a new user. So the real problem is not that Google AI is too advanced. The real problem is that beginners are entering a whole city of tools when they were only looking for one front door. If someone only remembers one name after this video, it should probably be Gemini. Gemini is Google's main general AI assistant. It is the closest thing Google has to the tool most people expect when they hear Google AI. Google's official Gemini page presents it as an assistant for writing, planning, brainstorming, and general help. DeepMind's model pages also describe Gemini as Google's core family of AI models and show it being used across the Gemini app, AI Studio, and other products. For a beginner, Gemini is where the simplest wins happen first. It can help draft emails, explain hard topics in plain English, summarize ideas, organize plans, and answer follow-up questions. That matters because the first experience with AI should feel useful within seconds. Not complicated, not technical, useful. This is also where many people make another mistake. They open Gemini and expect it to instantly replace every Google product they already use. That expectation creates disappointment. Gemini is best understood as the main assistant layer. It helps think, explain, write, and plan. It is not the perfect tool for every task, and it is not the same as source-based research or app building. Google's own pages also show Gemini extending into Google Apps and search through paid plans and workspace features, which means it is not just one chat window anymore. It is becoming a layer across Google's ecosystem. So if the viewer is confused and wants one simple starting point, Gemini is the safest first stop. Not because it does everything, but because it is the easiest way to understand what Google wants AI to feel like for everyday users. Now, this is where many beginners get completely thrown off, because NotebookLM looks like another AI assistant, but it plays a very different game. NotebookLM is built around the user's own sources. Google describes it as an AI research tool and thinking partner that can analyze sources, turn complexity into clarity, and help transform content. That is a very different promise from a general assistant. This tool is for the moment when someone has actual material to work with. A PDF, a website, notes, a transcript, a set of documents. Instead of asking a general question from scratch, the user brings the material into the workspace and asks the AI to work from that material. That changes everything. Gemini is better for open-ended help. NotebookLM is better for source-grounded help. Gemini is good for explain this topic. NotebookLM is good for explain this document. Gemini helps with broad thinking. NotebookLM helps with controlled thinking. That difference matters because one of the biggest fears around AI is not knowing where the answer came from. NotebookLM was designed around sources, which makes it especially useful for studying, research, briefing, and learning. Google's product pages and workspace pages both emphasize its role in helping people get insights faster from their materials. So, beginners should not think of NotebookLM as Gemini again. They should think of it as the tool for turning messy information into usable understanding. One of the fastest ways to get overwhelmed is opening a builder tool before learning the user tool. Google AI Studio is built for people who want to build with Google's models, test prompts more deeply, and work closer to the model layer. DeepMind's official models. Page lists Google AI Studio under places to build or try Google's AI systems. This does not mean beginners should avoid it forever. It means they should understand what it is for. AI Studio is closer to the workshop than the lobby. It is where creators, tinkerers, and developers go when they want more control. It is not the cleanest entry point for someone who is still trying to answer a basic question like, which Google AI tool helps me study? Or, which one helps me write better emails? Too many beginners jump into builder tools because they think the more advanced-looking product must be the more powerful one for them. That is usually backwards. A person who does not yet understand the difference between a chat assistant and a source-based notebook does not need more knobs. That person needs clarity first. So the beginner path is simple. First, learn what the tools are for, then move into the more technical environment later. Starting with AI Studio too early is like learning to drive by opening the hood. This is the part that gets the most attention online, but it is not the best place for a beginner to start. Google's ecosystem now includes creative models for video, images, and audio. DeepMind's official model pages list Veo for video generation with audio, Imagen for high-quality images, and Lyria for music and audio, while its Model Hub also highlights these as separate specialized systems. These tools are exciting because they feel futuristic. Video from prompts, images from text, audio generation, creative control. That is the part of AI that feels cinematic. But this is also where beginners often get distracted. The biggest value most people need first is not flashy generation. It is practical clarity. Help writing, help learning, help summarizing, help organizing, help understanding a confusing topic. That is why Gemini and NotebookLM matter more at the start than Veo or image generation tools. Google's own product pages present these creative tools as part of a broader ecosystem, not as the one starting point for everyone. Veo is specifically framed around filmmaking and storytelling, and Google's AI plans place creative generation as one category among productivity, study, and coding uses. So yes, Google AI can generate impressive media, but the smarter beginner move is learning the thinking tools before chasing the flashy tools. At this point, the whole ecosystem can be reduced to one simple mental map. Gemini is for general help. NotebookLM is for working with sources. AI Studio is for building and testing more deeply. Veo and the other creative models are for making media. Google's official pages support that separation clearly across consumer apps, research tools, builder tools, and specialized media models. That means a beginner does not need to master Google AI. A beginner only needs to answer one question first. What problem needs to be solved right now? If the problem is general help, start with Gemini. If the problem is understanding notes or documents, use NotebookLM. If the problem is building with the model, move to AI Studio. If the problem is creating media, explore VO or image tools later. That is the breakthrough. The confusion disappears the second the viewer stops asking, "What is the best Google AI?" and starts asking, "What is the right Google AI for this task?" And that is why so many people feel lost at first. They are not missing intelligence. They are missing the map. So what should a complete beginner actually do after this video ends? Open Gemini first. Use it for a few real tasks. Then open NotebookLM when there are documents, notes, or learning material to work with. Ignore the pressure to test every advanced feature on day one. Google's current ecosystem is broad, and even Google separates its tools by use case across official product and model pages. Because the goal is not to know every Google AI name. The goal is to stop feeling confused and start getting useful results. The strange thing about AI is that it often looks most confusing right before it becomes simple. Google AI feels messy when it is just a list of names. But once the viewer sees the pattern, it clicks. Gemini is the assistant. NotebookLM is the research partner. AI Studio is the builder space. VO and the creative models are the media engines. And suddenly the chaos turns into categories. That is the moment the beginner stops scrolling, stops guessing, and starts using the tools the right way. And once that happens, Google AI stops looking like a wall of products and starts looking like a system that actually makes sense.